Hi everyone, it's Camille. I wanted to share with you one of the research tools that has been most helpful to me. Conveniently, it's free. The name of this is Zotero, and it is what we call a citation manager. And this is going to save you an awful lot of time as you go through your classes here at MUIH in your graduate program. So this is free to download. I've already downloaded it onto my computer, so I'm not going to do that right now. But when you go to zotero.org, you too can download it. It comes as an extension for some browsers, and you can also get a standalone version so that you can use it with any browser. So let me show you why Zotero is so cool. So if we go to PubMed, and let's say we are searching for an article on, let's see here, I'm doing a presentation in a little bit on bacterial vaginosis and probiotics. So let's say we're looking for that on PubMed, and we go through and we find all sorts of different articles. And let's say here we want to read this article. We read through it, and oh, lo and behold, this is definitely one that we want to use. So what we can do is go to the full text of this article, and because I have installed Zotero into this browser, this little cursor is right here, and when I hover over it, it says Save to Zotero. So when I click on this, it's going to automatically save it into my Zotero library. So now, when I open up my Zotero library, which you can see right here, it has already imported the articles, title, the authors, the year, basically everything that it needs in order to cite this article. You can also see that I've got all these other articles that I'm also using for my presentation. Already in this particular library, I've created a library called Vaginas and Probiotics because that's the topic of the webinar that I'm doing. So excellent. That was pretty easy, right? You didn't have to write down anything. You didn't have to remember it. You just clicked a button. Now, let's say you're working on a paper or a discussion post or something for your class, and you say, bacterial vaginosis is quite common. Hopefully you'd have something more interesting to say than that, but let's just say that that's what you wrote. And you wanted to use the article that you just added to your Zotero library as a reference. Okay, instead of trying to figure out how you do APA formatting and what's going to happen, you'll see that in Word there's this add-ins section. So I go to add-in and I click this little icon, and I tell it I want to do APA. Okay. And then we just start typing. We start typing any word. So I started typing Bradshaw because I remembered that was the name of an author. So I click that, I hit insert, and boom, it cites it for me. It will also allow me to insert a full bibliography of all the text that I've used. So let's say I say something else like bacterial vaginosis can be treated with probiotics. Let's say I do that and I want to add somebody else's. I start writing probiotics, and let's say I just want to I want to cite this one. Okay, so now I've got two articles that I've cited. I come up here and I want to add a bibliography, right? So I click on this button and boom, it adds my whole bibliography in APA format, properly indented, properly italicized, and so forth. There was really no work on my part whatsoever other than the research aspect of it. The same thing works in Canvas. If you wanted to do this in Canvas, you could either cut and paste or you could type directly into Canvas. And if you were doing that, let me give you an example of how that might. Okay, so if I want to work directly into Canvas, I just pulled up one of my classes. This is not a this is not a formal discussion, but let's say I did the same thing. I said bacterial vaginosis, blah, 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 blah. And then I wanted to reference that article that I just read. What I could do is go to my Zotero library, and I can actually, let's say it's this one, I can actually click on it and drag it into that Canvas text box. Let me see, that didn't work out so well. Let me pull it back up again and move it over. So I can take this article, I can click on it and drag it in here, and boom, it just pulls it right in, formats it in APA, and I'm good to go. Now I am going to have to do the in-text citation myself in this format, but that's easy enough, right? You've got all the information right there, and you can carry on. So I hope you can see how much easier your life will be if you have Zotero or another similar software. Do let me know if you have any questions. They also have a great series of video tutorials online if you want to know more about kind of the nitty-gritty.